I mean, it's really hard to judge until you see the first real game. You know, it's we try to simulate game conditions as much as possible, but you know, and we know how this goes. You probably really only get a real kind of feel for your team probably after 15 games. 10 games it starts trending that way, then 15 you're like, okay, kind of we know who we are. But with us it's going to be a little different with some guys being out. So.
Any more questions? How is it? With the knee bump thing, how's DeAndre?
He did individual work today and was moving really well. He didn't do any team stuff.
Are you anticipating him being available on Wednesday night?
And I think it's too early to say. Too early to say.
And then how has Darius' progress been?
Really good. He did most of practice today, and we were live. So we'll see how he responds tomorrow. I don't know what that means big picture wise, but good sign for us.
What do you make of him with Hannah's schedule?
Who? Ethan, that's a tough data. Okay, my personal opinion, yes. I'd have to check with Steve and see what they think, but I'm a little surprised he's at this point. I know me and him are constantly fighting, like, you know, let's make sure this build-up is correct. Let's make sure we're progressing. Because I want to be healthy long-term for the season, for the playoffs. So really kind of having conversations with them, making sure the build-up's right. We're erring on the side of long-term things.
Not necessarily like Darius specific, but with injuries like his, like Max's, even DeAndre's, from your perspective, how much is there where you maybe have to protect the player from himself?
It's a friendly fight with these guys because they want to play, you know, they want to play as soon as possible. So our job my job as a coach and then performance is to educate them as much as possible on what that looks like. And even when they are quote unquote healthy, like, you know, we want to make sure they're physically ready to play at the level we want them to play. I always say it's not return to play, it's return to performance, right? Like I just don't want, hey guys, oh yeah, he's back and he's, you know, shooting 10% from three over his first 8 games. So we got to make sure they return to play, but they're ready to return to perform at a high level.
Okay, you finally reached game week here. How just excited are you? Finally kind of get this
I mean,
going?
what's better than this? If the game 1 against the Knicks in the Garden, like, kind of what you. I think when the schedule came out, we all circled this one. Like, what a, you know, obviously we're competing with them for you know, being one of the elite teams of the East, so that'll be great. And then I think our guys are tired of playing against each other. We're just at that point where this is the right timing for this game to happen.
Kenny, going back to Darius and what you said about return to performance, is there any way that you can judge that in a non-environment?
We do the best we can, but it's not apples to apples. So again, these are like, we're just having a ton of discussion. We do have the practice data too, so we can compare his XLs and DCLs to game data. We can look at his, you know, sprint speed. We can look at his mechanical intensity, and then we have also our like force place testing and all that in our testing lab. So we're getting a lot of information. I try to rely on the professionals to give us the player. But again, I keep telling these guys, I want you to be ready to be at almost peak form. That's my goal. You know, when these guys do come back.
He's obviously a different case because he had off-season surgery. He didn't really participate in
Yeah.
training camp, no preseason. So there's somebody who got injured during the year and they're coming back
Yeah.
after already playing. So like, are there markers specifically that you're looking for from Darius that let you know he's ready to go? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, no, it's all the stuff X cells, D cells. Is he hitting those? Is he getting close to hitting those in practice? But like you said, that's not always easy to replicate in a team scrimmage or a workout. We try to create environments where they're hitting these markers. And then obviously there's the exact examination, right? Like, they're on the table, they're looking at mobility, all that stuff, and then we have our testing in our performance lab. So it's all this information, and then like I said, the thing we have with these players, they're always pushing to play as soon as possible. So, but we got to do the best thing for the player and for the team.
You talked about upping, watching film games, this summer, just upping that aspect of. Have you seen that play out at all? How have you seen be able to just up his game when he hasn't been able to?
DJ, you're talking about?
You talked a lot about just like the film work he tried to dive into this summer and upping his game there.
I would put him at very high basketball IQ, category right off the bat. Second part, he loves basketball. Right, he's one of these guys that absolutely loves it. So he watches a lot of video of himself. He'll send me stuff from other teams. He sent me something from Brooklyn, something we ran. It was like 4 years ago. He's like, man, we could run this more. So he's always like. He's a quarterback, right? He's a point guard. He thinks like a point guard. I rely a lot on him, especially offensively.
Talk a lot about his maturity and his leadership style last
I think he's being more vocal. I had to pull something out of him. Sometimes I'll tell the guy next to him in the film room, and we all want to know. So you still get cool things from him sometimes, but him and Evan are both getting better at using their voice more. We need that because their voice carries a lot, carries more than mine, quite honestly. They see something in the film and they say it. It's like, I love when that happens. So encouraging them to do that more.
How would you describe your relationship with Mike Brown and obviously making his debut here for the Knicks?
I'm a huge Mike Brown fan. I really gained a lot of respect for him during that championship year. Just a phenomenal human being. He's really kind of bounced back from a lot of adversity, right? Like, been coach of the year, been fired, he's always picking himself up and just a ton of respect. I have recent memories of the Sacramento teams that he turned that program around, quite honestly. And his teams are really difficult to play against. Extremely organized, well prepared. But I'm just going to be happy to share. I thoroughly enjoyed my year with him. And we won a championship together. That means something. You go through that, you go through those battles, and we talked a lot that year. He helped me become a better coach. So great coach in my opinion.